All right, and we are back. A very quick break. Didn't really. All I really got to do is just, switch the segments here on the bottom. Uh, so we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, and for the final segment of today's show, we're going to be previewing the upcoming series, and well, one of the series is already in progress, the Rays and the Orioles. We're going to be previewing them, talking about them, and the playoff implications that go along with that. So, there's quite a few of them. So, you got the Braves and the Marlins. Obviously, the Braves already got their division wrapped up, so it's not really that important for them. However, it is important for them to get home field advantage. But the Marlins right now, they're trying to get that final wild card spot. And right now they're a half game out, as I talked about in the previous segment. So this series is huge for them. And right now they got Johnny Cueto going tonight, who's 1-4 with a 6.15 ERA. So you kind of cross your fingers and hope the Marlins can pull it out, especially if you're a Marlins fan. So that's a big series right there. The big series, really, I think the biggest series of the weekend, and I think most people would agree with this. There's one that's close, but this one really, because these two teams are fighting for the same division, and that's the Rays and the Orioles. So obviously last night, the Rays took Game 1, and right now they were a game back of the Orioles for first place in the division. So that's huge. So right now, Jack Flaherty, Zach Eflin, they're going at it tonight. I mean, I like the Rays again tonight. Zach Eflin's been solid for them, 14-8, 3.53 ERA, and Jack Flaherty, who the Orioles got at the deadline from the Cardinals. So he's 1-2 with a 7.16 ERA. So he really has not been that good for the Orioles. So I think the Rays are going to. So this Orioles got to win tonight, but I'm leaning more towards the Rays to take this win tonight. It's a huge game. So we'll see what happens there. So then tonight, our Blue Jays also trying to get back on the right track. They got Barrios pitching against Bello, playing against the Red Sox. Barrios 10-10, 3.63 ERA. So Blue Jays got to get back to their winning ways, because right now it's not looking good. But yeah, and then the other big series. Well, there's two of them actually. So you got the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. Justin Steele's pitching tonight against I got to be honest, I can't even pronounce his name. Brandon Fad, I think. Is that how you pronounce it? It's spelled Pfaadt. I mean, in this year he's 1-8 with the 6.25 ERA. So this is his first major league season, but hasn't been very good. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I really have no idea. And like, no offense to him, but it looks like a typo. But that's his name. So right now I'm leaning towards the Cubs to take that. That's not good for the Diamondbacks. They got to get a win, though. That is a game they really need to get, because they've been struggling a little bit. And Cubs, they got to get back to their winning ways, because they got to make up some ground against the Brewers, who are playing against the Nationals. Wade Miley's going tonight for the Brewers. So, they got to keep the Cubs got to win. They got to narrow that gap down, because that last series against the Brewers to end the year is going to be very important. So, but yeah. Then, the other big series is the Dodgers and the Mariners. So you got Miller going tonight, Bobby Miller going tonight for the Dodgers, and then you have George Kirby going for the Mariners. So that's big. That's big for the Blue Jays, because they need the Mariners to lose right now, because that's the team that they're chasing. And the Dodgers is a good team, because the Dodgers can definitely give the Mariners problems. But that should be a good series. Yeah, no, there's a lot of series that have playoff implications for this weekend. And it's it's going to be exciting. I mean, to rank the level of importance. I mean, to rank the. I guess. I mean, I don't want to say. Well, they're all important, but I guess because like the Rays and the Orioles, you'd probably put at the top because they're both fighting for the AL East, and there's a game that separates each of these teams, and then you have. I would say the Cubs and the Diamondbacks would be second, just because the Cubs still can win their division. Diamondbacks are trying to get that third wild card spot. But didn't these teams just play each other? I think they just played each other. Let me see. I feel like that's happened a lot recently. It's like the team literally just plays a team, and then they play them again. Like the Yankees with Detroit. Yeah, they played them they played them last week at home, and the Diamondbacks actually took 2 out of 3. Now this one's in Arizona. But yeah, like Diamondbacks actually have it rough. So they just played the Mets. Then they fly back home, right? Then they I gotta wait. Let me look at their schedule, because they were talking about it. They were talking about it on the radio when I was listening to it, I think the other day. So they played a 4-game set in New York. Then they fly back home. They play the Cubs and the Giants. And then they got to fly back to New York again to play the Yankees. Yeah, so that's a little rough. That's a little rough for them. But yeah, I mean, they're kind of struggling a little bit. So yeah, I mean, we'll just have to just got to hope that they start playing better again for their fans, because it's just crazy how one team's playing good, then they start playing bad, then another team. It's just like it's a roller coaster, like I've been saying. But yeah, so I would put that series second. Dodgers and Mariners is probably like the best series of the weekend. Just in terms of like, the stars that you see, because you would probably, I mean, you got the Dodgers and then you got the Mariners with their phenom Julio Rodriguez. So it's that should be a very good series, I think. But I think you probably put that last just because the Dodgers are going to have their division wrapped up, and the Mariners are, they could still win their division technically. Well, I mean, it's still very close. It's still very possible. They could still win their division, but I was talking more so about, their the wild card implications with them. But I think it's just because also, for me, I have the Astros penciled in as winning the division, but that's not. Listen, it's not a sure thing. That might not necessarily happen. But and then I guess the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays need this series bad. You get the Marlins and the Braves. Braves are still playing for home field, like I said. But then you got the other series sprinkled in. I mean, Phillies, Cardinals. Phillies are kind of locked into where they are. You got the Giants and the Rockies. Rockies aren't playing for anything. Tigers and Angels. I mean, the Angels are 1 game better than the Tigers right now. How about that? All right, so let's actually go backtrack. So right now they pretty much have the same record. So now let me see if I could find when they had that doubleheader. It was July 27th. The Angels at that time, they swept it. This was when Ohtani had the 1 hit shutout and the 2 home runs. So Angels at that time were 54-49, and the Tigers were 46-57. Right? This is on July 27th. So now you flash forward to now, and both of these teams have pretty much identical records. How crazy is that? But that just goes to show you how far the Angels really fell off. I mean, it's terrible. It really is just, yeah. Because I would have loved to have seen them in the playoffs. I really would have. Ohtani and Trout trying to win a championship together, but it never happened. It's not going to happen because Ohtani's going to probably leave, and Angels might end up trading Trout. So, but But yeah, so with the series Rays Orioles, that's going to be on Apple TV. So I mean, if you have Apple TV, you can tune into that. But um, otherwise, either listen to it on the radio or find some other way to watch it. That's another thing, is the streaming services. Not a huge fan of it. Not really a huge fan of it. Especially, and also with football too. It's just becoming too much. But that's just how it is now. Phillies and Cardinals is also on Apple TV. So, but if you have MLB, the MLB at Bat app, the Rangers and the Guardians is a free game to watch for the day. So if you want to watch that, Rangers got to win that game. Yeah, it's streaming service is not really not a big fan in terms of, just because, I mean, I'd rather just watch a game on TV. I don't want to have to, like, because if you got something else on that you could just change the channel, you can't do that. You gotta change the source and go to the Fire Stick or whatever you use, and yeah, it's just a pain. It's just a pain. But what are you gonna do? So, but yeah, big series this weekend. So yeah, let's go quickly pitching matchups for the rest of the series. I really only just went through the first game. But yeah, so you got Eflin and Flaherty. Then you got Glasnow and Rodriguez. I think I talked about this yesterday. And then you have Littell and Kramer. Then for Red Sox Blue Jays, Bello, Barrios, the two Bs. And then you have Sale and Bassett tomorrow. And then you got Pivetta and Ryu for Sunday. Right now, the Braves and Marlins, at least on MLB, they don't have the probable starters. So Dodgers. So we went over to today's. You got Kershaw and Miller for Saturday, and then you have Gilbert on Sunday. Dodgers don't have a pitcher, and then finally you got the Cubs and the Diamondbacks. So Steele and Thad for today. Hendricks and Davies on Saturday, tomorrow, and then Wicks and Nelson for Sunday. So that's the Sunday night baseball game. Cubs and Diamondbacks. So yeah, those are the pitching matchups, and I think that's it, right? Was there anybody else? No, those are all those are like the big series to touch upon. So yeah, should be a good weekend of baseball. A lot of playoff implications that go along with that. The standings are definitely going to change from that time. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the show for today. I still got the Patreon to record, so that'll be right after this. So if you are a Patreon supporter, make sure to go check that out once that's posted. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So we touched upon a lot. Better days are ahead for Red Sox fans, it seems. Playoff race is heating up, as it always does. So yeah, that's basically it. So thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Baseball Podcast. Another great week. Brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. So as always, please make sure to subscribe and leave a comment, a favorable review. And like I just said, for exclusive content, visit our Patreon, GSMC. Just search up GSMC Sports, and make sure to stay connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok once those are all up and running. So until next time, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the games. Enjoy baseball. Enjoy football. Enjoy everything. And I will talk to you guys on Monday. So take care, and I will see you guys then.